rubber industry business talk. Okay, and in this business talk, we're focusing on the industry side. And today, in this rubber industry business talk, we have Dr. Michel Dorget. He is the president of the GuayTecs based in France. He'll be speaking on the towards a European Guayule rubber supply chain. Let me brief you about Dr. Michel Dorget. He has more than 30 years experience in the latex research and product development. He also has more than 9 production process patents. He's a specialist, okay, with a huge experience on the latex research and products. So let's welcome Dr. Michel Dorget to make a presentation on the subject, the topic towards European Guayule rubber supply chain.
Hi. First, I would like to thank the organizer for his invitation. I'm really happy to talk about Guayule and also Dandelion, especially with Katrina Cornish and Michael Verve. So in my case, I will focus on the Guayule latex production, and GuayTecs is the first company who is producing natural latex in France, good for the planet and good for the people. I prepare this talk with all my colleagues and the co-owner of the company, Ali Amor, Fabrice Garrigue, and also Serge Palu, Daniel Pioche, and Eric Tardan from the CIRAD organization. All the company is based on a patented water-based extraction process, and this process has been developed by CIRAD organization and CTTM. CIRAD is an agronomical organization dedicated to the growth of crops, but also to the extraction process that we have to use in order to extract product from these crops. CTTM is a small technical center dedicated to material development. They develop, they control rubber and latex formulation and process. So you all know very well what is the natural EVA rubber market. It's mostly dedicated to the tire production. In a rubber form, polyisoprene, dry polyisoprene. But there is also 8% of the EVA polyisoprenes that is used in a latex form, polyisoprene dispersion, in order to produce gloves, foam, condom, textile. And we all know that Guayule latex has a huge advantages in comparisons to EVA latexes, is the fact that there is no allergenic problem with this latex. That's why I will rapidly focus on this latex market and forget all the rubber markets. In addition to this, you can see the evolution of the price, the rubber price on this slide. And we are actually near €2 per kilogram. And we will rapidly see also that with such low price, it will not be possible to produce only rubber with Guayule crops. In order to produce natural rubber and latex, there is several routes. All these routes are really interesting. We can use EVA tree, we can use Guayule bush, or we can use dandelion flowers. This different crop is adapted at different climates. You will have to focus on different localization. And in Europe, we can use Guayule and dandelion. It's not possible to grow EVA. There is also some competition through this crop and food crops. There is different level of advancement. Technological readiness level is fully different. There is a huge production of rubber and latex from EVA. It only starts with Guayule, and it's at a research state in the case of dandelion. Harvested are really different. In the case of Guayule, it's fully mechanical. We will not use hand in order to harvest a Guayule field. we can have an average yield per hectare around 1 ton per year and per hectare. I will use this figure later in my talk. So in this slide, I use a very nice map coming from a Katrina Cornish publication. And in this map, you can see that all the area in the world can have its own crop. For the tropical area, it will be rubber tree. For the semi-arid area, it will be guayule. And for the continental area, it will be dandelion. In the case of guayule, there is already a lot of company investing in this route. Two big companies, Bridgestone and Versalis, are investing in this route, and this company focus on the rubber market. They haven't got a lot of interest for the latex market that is too small, which is too small for this big company. Bridgestone in America have more than 100 hectares on an extraction unit using solvent in order to produce rubber. But there is also a lot of small companies like Ulex, Panaridus, Energien, Gais in Mexico, Guayule Australia in Australia, and GuayTecs in Europe. All these companies focus on the latex market. So the question is how it can be possible to produce with profitability and sustainability using these new crops. If we consider 1 ton per year and per hectare at a price of €2 per kilogram, it gives only €2,000 per hectare and per year. And in Europe, it is not enough. It will not be possible. So we have to find the right route in order to reach sustainability and profitability. I identify 4 different routes in order to reach this sustainability. Some companies invest a lot in order to increase agronomical yield. They try to develop new guayule variety, new guayule dandelion, and they try also to develop new technology like 3D farming, hydroponics routes in order to produce more crops per hectare. Another route can be to focus on the niche market, because on the niche market, the product will have higher value. It is exactly the case of the latex market, because we know that guayule latex has no allergenic problem, and it gives a higher value for this kind of latex. We will follow this route in our case. Other companies like Bridgestone try to produce rubber, but in fact they will never sell any rubber. They will sell tire. And in this case, the economical equation is fully different. So it's not a problem of profitability of the production of rubber, it's profitability of production of the tire. Another idea is to use bioraffinery strategy. We follow this route and we try to valorize all the co-products. With a guayule biomass, it's possible to produce latex and rubber, but it's also possible to produce resin. And after latex and resin extraction, you can also valorize bagasse. The bagasse is the name of the biomass after latex and resin extraction. If you add the niche market and the bioraffinery strategy, it will be possible to reach profitability and sustainability. It is the same idea for all what we can call bioeconomy area. When you are working on such area, you have to identify a new biomass, and to produce this biomass, you have to develop a bioraffinery process in order to produce several co-products from this biomass, and you have to valorize all these co-products in order to have zero waste, zero effluent, to valorize all the co-products. It is exactly the same picture for the Guayule field. The first pillar will be to produce guayule, and it will be the job of Valoris company, our partners. Valoris is specialized in the wasteland or marginal land valorization in the south of France. So farmer or cooperative which have a lot of land too hot where it's not possible to produce any food, they will suggest several plants, several crops, and it is exactly the case of Guayule. GuayTecs is the second pillar. GuayTecs will buy the biomass to the farmer and will extract latex, but also resin and bagasse. GuayTecs use a fully clean process using only water, no solvent, no chemical reaction. And we produce latex right now, and we will produce resin soon in order to valorize this resin in several applications. And after extraction of latex and resin, we will also valorize bagasse. So here is several fields, Guayule Field in the south of France. Some of these fields are quite young, some of these fields are older, and we plant all these fields with valorized company, and it is inside a project called Agro-Guayule Project, financed by ADEME organization. We presently have more than 4 hectares of Guayule in the south of France. In addition to this field, we work on the extraction process. So you have to understand that polyisoprene particles are not in duct in the plant. Polyisoprene particles are enclosed inside the cell of the plant, especially in the bark. So we have to open all these cells in order to extract polyisoprene particles in a water-based process to separate polyisoprene particles to the biomass and to concentrate this polyisoprene in order to reconstitute a latex. So it is a kind of reconstitute latex. It's not the native latex which is inside the cell because we use a process. And the quality of the process will generate different quality of latexes at the end of the extraction. This process is fully patented. And of course, we have an international and exclusive license. And we are already developing new idea, and especially we work on the resin extraction in order to add this second co-product to our business. We start also the scale-up process, and we are now at a pilot scale, and we can produce 1 kilogram, 1 liter of latex per hour. So here is our pilot. It has been built by Imeca Process company, and we built this pilot in the case of a project called Figalex and financed by ADEME organization. Of course, we compare the quality of our latex to standard natural latex, EVA latex. We formulate this both latex with the same formulation, using zinc oxide, sulfur, antioxidant, and accelerator. In this specific slide, we don't use coagulation process in order to produce a film. We use a drying process at ambient temperature, and after drying, we cure the film in order to vulcanize polymer. The red curve corresponds to the EVA latex film, and the green curve corresponds to the Guayule latex film. It is a traction experiment, and here is the stress versus strain. The main difference is the fact that the strain at break in the case of Guayule is higher in comparison to EVA strain at break. And if we have a look at the beginning of the curve, we can see that the elastic modulus of Guayule latex film is lower than elastic modulus of EVA latex film. So it's a quite classical difference. There is a lot of publication dealing about this difference. And the main explanation is the fact that Guayule polyisoprene is less branched and with higher molecular mass. All this quality explain why we would like to focus on the glove market, because it will allow to produce glove thinner. It will allow to produce safer glove because hypoallergenic and more sustainable glove. And all these gloves will be produced with a Guayule, locally produced, a natural latex, an European latex, hypoallergenic, which give flexible film. Latex will be also used in order to produce toys, medical device, condom, textile. And in addition to the latex, we will also produce resin that can be used in cosmetics, fragrance, wood preservation, paint and coating, pharmaceutical and adhesive. And after latex and resin extraction, the biomass that is called bagasse will be used in order to be transformed in wood panel or other goods. In order to manage this company, we build a twin head with a technical person and a business person. Fabrice Garrigue is a businessman. He was previously a manager of business unit in Rhodia company, and he creates Evertree startup for Avril company. He reached GuayTecs 1 year ago. In my case, I worked 10 years long for Rhodia organization, developing knowledge concerning synthetic latex and a lot of patents dealing about the relation between synthesis routes, particle structure, and applicative parameter. I spent also 20 years in CTTM, dedicated to rubber and latex application, and mostly natural latex and rubber. I start with EVA latex, but I switched also 10 years ago to Guayule and also dandelion latex to develop this kind of new route. I already talked about Serge Palu and Daniel Pioche. They are the co-owner of the company. Serge Palu started to be involved in Guayule research 40 years ago. In the case of Daniel Pioche, he started to be involved in Guayule extraction 20 years ago. Ali Amor, 10 years ago, started the extraction, water-based extraction on Guayule, and he is the main inventor of the patent. In addition to Ali, we work also with Amandine Rousset, who is developing the resin extraction technology. And in addition to all this core team, there is also Lazare Mesnier and Cindy Savanier, 2 persons who are involved in the quality control of the latex. But there is also an ecosystem, a French ecosystem around the company, because we work with Valoris company with the help of CIRAD organization. The process has been built by Imeca Process, a very interesting company. And for the latex application, we have built a strong link with Pircan company, MAPA and GuayTecs. These 3 companies produce gloves in France, and especially industrial glove for very specific application. So in the following years, we will produce more and more Guayule latex. Presently, we have a 1 liter per hour extraction pilot. It's a pre-marketing products qualification step, and we will increase this production capacity in the following years, and we will also add resin extraction. Once latex quality and resin quality will be fully validated, we will start industrial scale-up with our clients, and we will build our demo unit and our industrial unit in order to produce tons and tons versus years. So as a summary, as a conclusion, we can say that this is a very green route, a very clean route in order to produce natural latex. there is no solvent, only water, no waste, zero effluent. We will produce latex, but also resin and bagasse. For the farmer, it will be a good opportunity to diversify their production and to valorize their wasteland. For the business, it will be also a good opportunity. For our clients, it will be possible for them to switch from petro-sourced raw material to bio-sourced raw material. And there is a lot of organizations that would like to be less dependent of petroleum cost. And we will start our sale and to produce at an industrial scale in 1 or 2 years. Thanks for your attention. I'm fully open to all of your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Michel. Excellent presentation. I really enjoyed this, the environmental friendly process of the latex production from the ULA. And before I let you go, I have a couple of questions to ask you on behalf of the audience. You talk about at this moment it's in the pilot scale. Probably give you some idea what kind of investment cost for the refinery and overall economics of this kind of latex.
So we make a lot of evaluation of the invest cost. We already buy our extraction unit and we make some extrapolation to the demo scale and the industrial scale extraction unit. What is clearly sure is that if you produce only rubber, it will not cover the production cost. It's not possible. At €2 per kilogram for the rubber, it's not possible to cover the production cost. That's why we will focus on the latex market. And in addition, we will valorize the co-product. And if you have a look to all the small companies like Energien, GuayTecs, Guayule Australia, we all follow the same kind of route because we all know that it will not be profitable to produce rubber alone.
And I think the value about the biomass and the resins, it gives you more value for the whole process. Is it right? Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
The value of the byproducts or co-products, it will be more the feasible process, not only just the latex, but also the resins and the biomass gives more value for the whole, this economic.
In our business model, we use value corresponding to the raw material already existing. For example, the value of the resin, Guayule resin, in our business model is similar to the pin resin. In the case of the bagasse, we use the value of wood panel because it will be the same kind of value. And if we add all this value, it's possible to reach sustainability and profitability.
So can you talk about what kind of investment opportunities and the cooperation with GuayTecs? Anybody interested to invest jointly, work with you, or what options or opportunities are available?
So GuayTecs has been built 3 years ago. So we are a small company. We start our extrapolation process, and we open a first fundraising. So we are now open to investor in order to go faster, to accelerate, and to become bigger and bigger as fast as possible. In addition to this, we are open to collaboration, worldwide collaboration. We already have some collaboration with a lot of countries. Some people want to produce biomass and ask us to extract latex and co-products. Some other companies want to compare different kind of extraction process, because you can use water-based process, but you can also use solvent-based process in order to produce latex and rubber. And some companies want to compare the different routes in order to see if the quality of the product will be the same or not.
And are there any standards, quality standards for the oily latex, similar to the heavier latex?
thanks to Ulex company. Ulex is an American company which started 20 years ago. In fact, they stopped producing guayule right now, but they managed to validate an ASTM standard in America. So you can use the standard in order to qualify the quality of your latex. And in this standard, there is also guayule, but dandelion. So it's possible to have a quality evaluation using this ASTM normalization. In addition to this, Ulex managed to produce gloves with a very big company like Ansel or other company, and to have a Food and Drug Administration agreement. So they managed to have approval of this kind of organization for glove producers with guayule latex. So there is already some normalization step already done, and we are really near to the market.
Super, super. And can you tell how much area has been planted so far in Europe for the?
In Europe, in France, there is around 3 to 4 hectares. There is also some hectare in Spain. It's a research field, but I think that there is a lot of hectare in Italy because Versalis want to produce as soon as possible. And they claim 1,000, but maybe it's 100 hectares of guayule in Italy or in Sicily, maybe less. We don't know exactly because it's very confidential.
Understood. And is the farmers also supportive, understand about this opportunity? You know, the farmers, you know, the
farmers are really interested with this opportunity for several reasons. The first one is that they want to diversify the production. It's not a good thing to produce only one crops for one application. They want to have several applications and several crops. And another important aspect is the fact that with the climate warming, a lot of field, it's impossible to produce food in this field because temperature is too high or the quality of the soil is not high enough. And in such a case, farmers are really happy to use guayule. It's a real in Europe. I know that it's a real problem also in Arizona, in America, because it's more and more difficult to produce food, and they would like to switch to guayule production that need lower water.
Super, Dr. Michel. Thank you very much. You gave a lot of insights about this whole guayule latex and opportunities. I'm sure that your company will grow faster rate and you know, a lot of opportunities for the industry and all, because there are a lot of proper benefits are there in terms of the quality, allergens issues also there. So thank you for joining this session, Dr. Michel. Appreciate participation.
Thanks.
Thank you.